Vijay is an incredible speaker, and he will scare you with the technology he has. You know, they have a system where they can do construction at excellent speed and sustainable, and using technology they can help you design and get things done faster, better. And I had to push Vijay to travel from Goa and come here. Even though it was difficult, he still did it because I wanted to have him here. He spoke in 2018, I think, in our previous India Advantage Summit. So over to you, Vijay, to open our eyes on how construction sector can be given a rocket boost. Yeah, so over to you.
Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause.
Thank you. So should I wait for my slides to start or? Yep. Okay, my name is Vijay. Like he said, I just came from Goa last night, and Jose remembered me in the last minute. So I had to come. And what we do has nothing to do with the digital, has nothing to do with healthcare, has nothing to do with whatever you have heard so far. So it's a kind of a break from what you have been listening to potentially since morning. What we do is shamefully things to do with Lisa? So what we do has something to do with cement, concrete, steel, brick, mortar. You know, it is a slab at the end of ICT and digital and neuro and obesity and diagnosis and all that. It's very basic. So, but what we believed was, unless you know how to make the built environment, you aren't going to have a place to live. If you aren't going to have a place to live, you aren't going to have a city. If you don't have a city, you can't connect it digitally. And you can't check yourself either. So we said, okay, let's start at the bare basics. Go figure out how the hell are we going to create places to live, which is of international quality. And if the digital folks are talking about working at the speed of light, we can't catch them, but at least let us try how do we do things a little faster, better, possibly stronger, and all that can we do with brick, mortar, steel, cement, concrete. That is what we took upon. Very, very humble initiative. So, those of you who have been involved in construction or used a house probably know your parents would have brought the material, mixed it near your site, made it into a house, and maybe bought a window or a door from somewhere else. That's the only manufactured piece they would have used. From there, today we are at a situation where this whole hall can be manufactured in a factory with all the four walls and the roof, along with all the lines for your electrical conduiting and plumbing and wall boxes and whatever you see can be manufactured like you manufacture an automobile or a railway wagon, and lifted and connected. Has it happened? Yes, it has happened. Where all it has happened across the world. Over the years, since the Second World War time, we have been using what is called as the elemental, because Second World War, friendly Europeans hit each other and broke all the buildings. So you had to rebuild the whole thing. That's when the precast came into picture. And India is using precast now, but what I am talking about is the three-dimensional monolithic precast. You manufacture the whole room from a remote control machine. Cement, concrete, steel, weighing 20 tons and 25 tons. And that has been done by Singaporeans recently up to 41 story. They call it precast, pre-finished, volumetric construction. Mouthful. We just call it three-dimensional precast. That's what we do. Hence, when we started in 2011 in India, we were saying we will run a race with the Singaporeans. manufacture the building, install it and hand it over, you will see the pictures of how quickly it was done and what kind of a quality, what all problems it is solving in a minute or so. But Singaporeans have gone ahead. Singaporeans have gone ahead and said, why only the room? I will make the room, add the floor also. Because I've added the floor, I will put the cupboards and commodes and wardrobes and shrink wrap the whole damn thing. So when it is lifted from the factory in Malaysia, put at the back of a trailer, it's ready to live in. It's just lifted and placed on the 41st story. They don't want construction workers there. They don't want their country or the city to be occupied by people who don't add sufficient value. Economic objectives, but it delivers an outcome of the kind. So that is where they have gone. So that is complete building, ready to live with all your ICT pre-installed. Possibly your sensors, Neura should be happy. You can tell the Singaporeans, add these sensors when you make the house. So that, the kiosk gentleman, Surya, who was here, he can tell those guys, just add, like a cupboard, add one kiosk. Personal diagnosis. Whenever you have a headache, go sit there. That kind of a thing is possible today, at least in Singapore. So, what do? We manufacture, like the Singaporeans do, the whole building inside a remote controlled machine, which brings out as the module. Now, I wasn't joking when I talked about Neura, talked about Surya, those people. Actually, honestly, you can embed all your ICT sensors, all your ICT inventions for the family as a whole. Like we had library in my times, where we read with books, right? You can replace that old-fashioned thing with a diagnostic center or a sensor room. And because it is manufactured, if you give me a drawing and say, have the sensor here, and the distance should not be more than this, have the angle of the patient and this, I will include it into the concrete. It is possible. So we're talking about buildings being manufactured to the design, delivered with that kind of a precision. That's what has come about. We have done it in India, and it is growing a little bit more now. So what does it deliver? In one single pour, you take out the whole room, all the 4 walls and the roof, along with all your conduiting lines. That is in property technology or construction technology said to be the most advanced. Fortunately, because it is concrete and steel and cement, the National Building Code automatically approves it. In fact, Mr. Modi came and inaugurated the building we just finished for Goa Airport. Yeah, he just came and inaugurated it. And he has his own way of saying, बच्चों जैसा वो लेगो ब्लॉक के साथ खेलते हैं, ऐसा आज का ज़माने में अपना देश में, if you want a sprawling one. Now all that, whatever I was mentioning to you, it resides in this machine, which is not very sophisticated. It has picked up a little bit of electronics. Has it picked up ICT? Has it picked up automation? Has it picked up digitization? Not yet. Now, my agenda was when you call me, if there is a German firm here, hey, there is a company called BT Innovation in your country, which is the most advanced as far as the built environment is concerned. Can you connect? Because we have the market. You have the ability and the innovation. When we marry these two, probably it's a win for him and win for me. I have the biggest problem, 1.3 billion. He has the finest solution. So it's time to marry. So this is what does. And I think I'm running out of time. So can you run the video for me, please? So whatever I said, you can see how it happens. So that is the machine into which you put reinforcement. Reinforcement itself is in the shape of a room, disaster resistant because reinforcement is interconnected. And you put all your electrical, mechanical, plumbing, all the lines before you open the concrete. So that when you take out the module, it comes with all of it. Yep. So it's about 10, 11 hours from the time you pour the concrete, you take out your concrete room or a module, as you call. And that's what you get next morning. So each mold gives you a room and night. They said day job and night job. Day job, I pour concrete. Night job, it makes the room. So that's what we come out with. So that's a usual normal concrete which people use. Nothing special, nothing expensive. But it gives you kind of a jointless, maintenance-free module. That's what we get. And that's how it is taken out in the morning. The earlier one was an animation. Here you can see the actual pictures of how the rooms are pulled out, how they are transported and connected and made into building. Yep. So we believe the technology can be in managing challenges, taking forward what we have, but we thought a technology which can create the basic, the very, very basic stuff in a better way, faster, would make a lot of difference. That's what we embarked on way back in 2011, and today it is kind of expanding. The technology owner from Australia has now said that, offer it. Government of India has given a patent. So he says, offer it to as many people as possible. So that kind of a opening up has happened since we spoke last time. So that's how that's about 10 modules, 3,500 square feet, manufactured in 2 molds, which means 5 days. So you have a 3,500 house structure manufactured over 5 days, installed about 5 hours. So that's the pace with which we move.
5 days?
Yeah. One machine makes 1 box. So you put 2 machines, 10 boxes, 5 days. And I will rush. Do we have multiple machines needed? No. You don't go that way. It's called a design for manufacturing and assembly. Like all your cars from Suzuki in India come from one single platform called hot tech platform. Whether it is your very basic espresso or their most advanced Cias, everything comes from the same thing. So that's the way you need to design the mold, so that one mold makes different typologies. The end user will never figure out it all came from the one mold. So we have managed, Singapore has got 80,000 people trained in DFMA in the 5 years since we spoke. And we have started in India also, but not 80,000 folks. So these are all the challenges in construction industry. I don't think you would be very keen on knowing those challenges, but this addresses most of those challenges and changes the game completely. And for the first time, we're talking about factory which will manufacture the buildings. And these are images of how the reinforcement cage is put. That is, in the truck in the middle, I don't know whether the pointer will work, is a single bedroom hall kitchen house. Manufactured and put on the back of a trailer and taken to the site and installed. And this is the image of the factory in which you put 4 machines. Each day you manufacture 2 houses. And these are some of the awards the company has won. So since we spoke last time, Jose, these are the things we brought it together, not only the technology, the entire ecosystem should come together so that it can be delivered to larger and larger number of people, more cost effective. And just an image of, this is the 5-story building, 20 apartments, from the start of first pour of the concrete to handover, 33 days. 20 apartments, 33 days. That was for Tata Housing, Bombay. And these are some of the closer pictures of the same thing. And how it looks internally. You don't have protruding beams and columns because it is a shear wall technology, which means you use every millimeter of the space inside the room. And this was inaugurated by Prime Minister on 19th of December. This is an aviation skill development center for the new Goa airport being built. The airport is yet to become operational. It is becoming operational on the 15th of August. So this building is the institutional building, totally 27 modules. So this building, what you see, is manufactured and erected in 27 days. So that's the pace with which you can, there's a close-up of 27 days. So each one of them, what you saw in the previous picture is just one module. You open this wall versus open that wall versus open both the walls, And you get different usages. It becomes a porch, it becomes a reception, it becomes 3 of them together, becomes a classroom, 6 of them together becomes a conference room or an open platform workspace. So that's why Mr. Modi called it Lego block. So this is another view of how the building looks. In Goa, you must have sloped roof. So we had to add the sloping roof. And like I told you, whether it is a 24 feet by 36 feet, 3 modules, 3 days, you have that. Next one is 6 modules. So 6 days, you have a conference room manufactured, erected, and put in place. These are some of the images of that. And whatever you do with concrete, you can do with this because it's made of concrete. The way of making was different, the rest is same. Some more images of this. So whether it is, shine or rain, you can. Because you are not dependent on human beings, the machine works. This was one of those, heavy monsoon times of Goa where we had to pour and take out. And do you need too many people? You don't. You only need, people who are diploma holders or engineers to work. A mold maximum 10 people. That's all you need. That means you're producing 300 square foot of carpet area with 10 people. And everybody complains about productivity in construction. Here, possibly one of those things addressed. These are some of the projects. In Australia, they say, hey, will it be like a matchbox? No, it won't be. Any form you want, you can create. Whatever form you're creating in concrete can be created here too. It's only a question of you're manufacturing them. And where all are we applying in India? Across all these, whether you want a high-end villa, the Google CTO, Chief Technology Officer, happens to be living in Bengaluru. He wanted his house to be manufactured with this. So that's a reasonably sophisticated, lots of ICT included, that kind of a villa. And can I do affordable housing? Yes, Tata Housing was an affordable housing. Are we offering it to the, the base of the pyramid or the bottom of the pyramid? Yes, we are. So right from there, 2 bulletproof structures in oil and gas, military, even your bunkers for army are manufactured with this. And can I, as an individual, get this house ordered and delivered? Yes, if you are in Bangalore. You do get that because you have a plot size standardized. You can pick from the catalog villa, design which one you want. And it won't look like a matchbox. You can have any of those elevations. Your Juliet balconies can be made, if you choose to have them. These are all made from one single mold. If you notice the, kind of a robustness of it, by applying it in different formations and applying it with different internal arrangements, you can deliver all of this. This is the most, sensational thing right now. This has got a 300 square foot single box manufactured, floor added. We haven't stayed behind Singaporeans. We are trying to catch up. Add the floor, do all the furnishing, put the bedroom, put the kitchen, put a non-private bedroom on top and deliver it. You can put it on a trailer and take it to different locations. So that is now available in India from the same technology. Of course, Singaporeans did it ahead of us. So this is another interesting application of how we apply this technology to create corridors. The modules are on the edge. The space between the modules is also used. That is another way of using this. Its application. This all was done by Indians. This is your retail kiosk. It could be your consulting room. It could be you can throw all your devices which you talked about in the last couple of sessions, create a consulting room which becomes portable. So whatever activity you do, you need a housing for it. That's what we manufacture and give you. And this is warehouse and industries and site offices. Once you figured out you can manufacture, you figured out you manufacture as a module like a Lego block, and then the applications are left to the imagination, and Indians are pretty good at figuring out where they can apply, and it is happening. So these are the migrant workers, for them what was designed and done, and that's all, brick and mortar and steel and cement.
Let's give a big round of applause because Home Mission is solving a very big problem. You know, if we need housing for all, I think we have to go fast, we have to go strong, we have to go solid. And I think that was really excellent. Thank you, Vijay. Later we'll have, one question, one or two questions. I think some of you also will have some questions, so please reserve it till the end.